Class, welcome to week 13. We've got various different topics this week. So let's jump right in. We've got ranking and link building. We've talked a little bit about backlinks and the effect that has on search engine optimization. So we'll have an assignment on that, on how to grow those backlinks. Then you'll have an assignment on Google Analytics. We've done the installation for that. We talked a little bit about how beneficial that can be, but this will be an assignment to help you understand that a little bit more, how it functions, how it might benefit your business. Then we'll have project 5 about optimizing your website, and then you'll have a quiz on Google Analytics, and so that will be very similar to your Google Analytics prepare assignment, but something a little bit more in depth. And then you'll have your reflection of course, and finally an end of course evaluation. Just like the other evaluations you've done, I encourage you to take a moment to do that. It will certainly be a benefit to students in the future. So we'll get into ranking and link building assignment. I've mentioned this before, but backlinks are links from other websites that are pointing to your site. And the more these develop, the more Google will start to recognize you as an authority on a certain on your product or service, or on a brand, or they recognize you as a popular destination, and it really helps you climb in those search engine optimization rankings and get towards the top of the page. So there's some information here about link building, but this is really effective link building is done intentionally. It's not just done over time where people discover you and say, "Oh, I'm gonna link to this site." There's a lot of places out online where you could reach out to a company and say, "Hey, I think a link to my site could benefit you in this way." And this has happened to me a couple times. I had a blog during business school, and I was focused on healthcare. I'm a healthcare administrator for my day job. I teach this course and have owned website creation businesses in the past, but my day job is in healthcare administration. Well, I had a blog on healthcare, and I would have people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I really think it would benefit if you added this link in this post to my site for these reasons." And so there's a lot of sales to it. I think this is the closest you get to kind of a sales equivalent in web business. So think about how to be intentional about growing these backlinks. You'll map out a strategy that says who's going to do this and when, what are they going to do and how, and then where will the links be gathered. And that's the gist of your link building assignment. But a lot of good information here on one, why links can be powerful, and two, how you might develop that. I just gave you one example of how you might develop those links by reaching out to companies, but there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Now we'll get into the Google Analytics assignment. There are some introductory videos here about how to understand Google Analytics. There's so much data in that. And it's not only one, what does the data mean, but two, how does it apply to your business and how might it help? And that's what these videos are getting at. Now there is one important point on this assignment. You will not be using your own data for Google Analytics. There will be a wide variety in the class. Some of you will have had a lot of traffic, some of you will have had just a bit. And so Google Analytics hasn't really had a chance to develop a robust data set. So to aid in the effort to get you accustomed to what Google Analytics can provide, and to make sure everyone's operating off of the same set of data, you will actually click this demo account link, and it will take you to this page where Google Analytics will show you their demo account. And you will access their demo account by clicking, say, scroll down to access the demo account section, and then this last one here, Universal Analytics Property Google Merchandise Store Web Data. You click on that, and that will take you to a page with dummy data that Google has filled over the years, and that way you'll have a robust data set you can work with for this assignment. You will, and again, we'll have everyone working with the same data, and that will be important because I'll explain a little bit more about that in the discussion board. But we want everybody using the same set of data. When you go to that demo account, it's important that you set the date range to January 1, 2017 to January 31, 2017. That way, again, everyone's working up the same set of data. Then go through and answer these questions. I won't read them all, but just so you get an idea. Which country has the third most views for the entire site? What percentage of visitors were return visitors to the store in January? Which age group views the site most? This helps you understand who your customer is, who your potential customer is, who's visiting your website, who's interested in it. So there's a lot of questions like that. There's a video at the end that will walk you through a little bit more detail, make sure you're on the right path. And so please make sure you've attempted this before watching this. It's important that you are familiar with the user interface, with the data. It's important that you make an attempt on your own to answer these questions before you watch that video. So that is the assignment. When you are finished with those questions, however, please do not turn it in right away. I mentioned we want everyone using the same data for a couple different reasons. One is the discussion board. The discussion board will be unique, and that when you do this discussion board, the prompt will ask you to post your answers that you got from that assignment. So this will essentially be group work. Please make sure you go through and answer those questions on your own first, and that way you're not just leaning on your discussion group to answer the questions for you, but you want to be a contributor in this. So please make sure you answer these first, post them, and then you can discuss and say, hey, why did you get that? Here's what I got, and decide on what the right answer is, and then you can go ahead and submit. So those are designed to be done in tandem, the prepare assignment as well as the discussion board. Project 5, to optimize your website, will be an introduction to a really neat tool available. This My Site Auditor is one of many websites that will go through and assess a web page or assess your website on how effectively you've optimized it for search engines. So you'll use My Site Auditor and choose one page of your website. And then you'll enter the URL. Please be aware that, one, you need an email address. You can create a temporary email address if you don't want advertisements from My Site Auditor in the future. And then remember, you've got to enter the correct one. This is a sample from My Site Auditor, so you don't have to pay for the full version. So make sure you enter the correct web page in My Site Auditor. Then it will generate an SEO audit report, and from that you will get a page grade, and then it will assess or offer suggestions on various different changes you can make. And you will include then on a Word document what was your page grade, what web page you chose, include the URL, and then which keyword on that web page you chose to audit. Then below that, you'll just put a simple table like this: changes you plan to make, and the explanation. What impact will that make? That's it. And so there's a video walkthrough here of Project 5, but again, pretty straightforward compared to other projects. You're really just going to MySite Auditor, audit a page of your website, record that information, and then list the changes that MySite Auditor suggests. If by chance it doesn't suggest 5 changes, rely on your knowledge of search engine optimization and list a few more, but you do need to have 5 changes that you would make to your site. After Project 5, you'll have this quiz. These questions are very similar to the Prepare assignment. I want you to note that you'll go to June of 2017. We did January 2017 in the other assignment. You'll do June of 2017 here. There is no time limit on this, and so you should have some time to go through and take your time on those questions. And that will be it. Certainly a busy week this week. If you're stumbling on any of these, please reach out. I'm happy to help. But we're getting to the point where you can do some really neat tools. You understand search engine optimization enough to use something like MySite Auditor. You've had access to Google Analytics and can run some really deep data dive, some really interesting information from that as well. So it's an exciting part of the course where you really start to understand the potential that an online business holds. So again, please reach out on anything if you're struggling. And then next week we will wrap up with a simple week 14. Thanks, everyone.